Hello everyone, this is Chromý and together we will continue the course Interdisciplinary Approaches to Language and its Use too. In this presentation we will continue our discussion of variationist sociolinguistics and we will focus on another important factor in language variation, namely the gender. The main question we may ask is, what is the role of gender in language variation? For example, do women and men speak the same? Or is there any general tendency that they speak differently? Moreover, if we would find such differences, then we should ask, why is that? Since the beginning of variationist sociolinguistics, many studies have found that women tend to use prestigious variants more than men. There were also exceptions to this trend, but the general trend seemed to be clear. One of the many studies which found the difference between women and men was the paper by famous sociolinguist Peter Trudgill. Trudgill focused on the use of ing variable in Norwich in northern England. We already mentioned this variable before, but let's remind us that the prestigious and standard variant is the velar in, for example in she's walking. On the other hand, the informal and stigmatized variant is alveolar n preceded with schwa, such as in she's walken. In this table, we can see two social variables, namely the social class and gender, and the other four columns show results for four styles: word reading, passage reading, careful speech, and casual speech. The number in each cell is the percentage of use of the standard ing variant. The table is interesting because it shows several clear differences. First, there are differences between the four styles. Speakers from all analyzed social classes use the prestigious variants more in word reading than in careful speech and casual speech. Second, there are differences between the social groups. The higher the class, the more prestigious variants. And there are also gender differences. In each social group, women use prestigious variants more than men, with only 3 exceptions. Variationist sociolinguists offered various explanations to the general tendency in different communities and languages that women tend to use prestigious variants more than men. A more recent explanation is related to the ideas of the third wave of variationist sociolinguistics. In their paper, Penelope Eckert and Sally McConnell-Jinnett argue that the differences between men and women are the effect of style and identity formation. It may be so that men often form their identity as masculine and related to the region where they live, which is also linked to the use of stigmatized local and non-prestigious variants. On the other hand, women may try to give the impression as being more educated and supra-local, which is linked to the use of prestigious and standard variants. Importantly, this difference is not universal and it depends on the other local factors too. One can say that the gender itself is conceptualized as a local category in this approach. This style-based approach can also explain the other, less common situations when women actually use stigmatized variants more than men. We will return to gender effects on language variation in the future presentations. Before we will conclude this presentation, I have one reading tip for you, and this is Jennifer Coates' book Women, Men and Language, a Sociolinguistic Account of Gender Differences in Language, which presents a complex discussion of the issues of gender in relation to language use. If you enjoyed the presentations, we would be glad if you would like them on YouTube. That is all from me now. See you next time.